Have you ever wondered why AirPods have become such an inseparable part of our daily lives? We use them every single day, for music, work, and calls. But behind that simple design lies a true masterpiece of engineering and 3D artistry. You might think creating a 3D AirPod is super complicated. We're going to create an AirPod from scratch in 3ds Max. Hi, welcome to this video from the Architectural MD channel. Before we get started, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you'll be notified about future videos. As I mentioned earlier, we're going to create an AirPod together, so let's jump right in. I'll start with a cylinder and set the right size for it. Now I'll convert it to an editable poly. I'll select this polygon and give it a bit of extrusion. Next, using the rotation tool, I'll bend it by 5 degrees at a time until it reaches 90 degrees. Alright, now that it's bent to 90 degrees, I'll select these polygons and extrude them along the local normal. I'll extrude again to extend the length. And I think this should be enough for the overall height. Now it's time to push these polygons inward. I'll add some extra edges with the Connect tool to make sure the shape holds properly when smoothing. In the front view, I'll create another cylinder and place it right in the middle of this opening. I'll convert it to an editable poly as well. Then I'll extrude these polygons. In the center, I want to create some small holes, so I'll use the Quick Slice tool. I'll deselect a few polygons. Hit Inset by Polygon, and then delete those faces. I'll also remove this extra polygon here. Finally, I'll apply a shell modifier and slightly increase the outer amount to give it thickness. Now, I'll create a sphere right in the center of this cylinder. If I increase the hemisphere parameter, it turns into a half sphere. I'll convert it to an editable poly. Next, I'll select these polygons and delete them. Same with these ones here. While holding down Shift, I'll drag these edges backward to extend them a little. It's a small amount. I'll select the edges around this section and use Connect to add supporting loops. Then I'll extrude them along the local normal. Just enough to keep the shape. I'll also delete these polygons. Now, I'll scale it down slightly so it matches the correct size. Once it looks good, I'll apply the shell modifier to give it thickness. Alright, now it's time to apply Turbo Smooth to the main AirPod body. I'll also add Turbo Smooth here as well. The body looks like it's sticking out too far, so I'll adjust it using FFD. Much better. The bottom part is a bit messy, so I'll add more support loops, especially around the edges. I'll also use Inset here at the bottom. And that fixes the issue. For the charging area, I've created these two cylinders. Now, I'll place the left one in position using the L alignment. I'll scale it down a bit. Then give it an extrude. With rotation, I'll turn it vertically and place it right in the horizontal center of the AirPod. Now it's time to use Pro Boolean. I'll enable this option so the segments don't disappear. In subtraction mode, I'll select these objects. Then I'll group them together. Alright, now I'll make a mirror copy, but instead of L, I'll switch it to R. I won't go through that step here. I've prepared two objects. One using a cylinder the same way as in the beginning of the video, and another using a capsule. Now, I want to create the charging port using a chamfer box. I'll adjust its size and position. Looks good now. I'll convert it to an editable poly. Then I'll split it into two parts and detach them. I'll close both ends using cap. Now, I'll place these objects right in the middle of the chamfer box's center line. Next, I'll make copies of these two capsules for the other piece. And as you probably guessed, it's time to use Pro Boolean again. These objects are the AirPods case shell. Now I'll enable Pro Boolean for this object as well. And there we go. The main cavity for placing the AirPods is ready. I'll move this object back to its original spot. Using Effect Pivot only, I'll shift the pivot point to this corner. That way, I can easily open and close the lid with rotation. Next, I'll create a chamfer box for the front section. With Ctrl+V, I'll make a copy in place, since I'll need it for both objects. Now I'll apply it to the first one, and then to the second one. See how Pro Boolean not only makes the work look clean, but also saves time. Imagine if I had to model all this manually with editable poly. It would take so much longer. Alright, now for the charging button, I'll create a cylinder and place it in the right spot. I'll convert it to an editable poly. Then I'll give this polygon a very slight inset. And move it down just a little. Now I'll place it in the right spot. Using Boolean, I'll subtract it as well. And that's it. I'll also make a copy of the two AirPods and put them inside the case. Here's how it looks from the inside. Now, let's move on to materials. I've already created them. Let me show you the results. I adjusted the color, reflection, and IOR. This is the AirPod material, which I'll apply after ungrouping them. Next, I'll assign the material for the gel-like ear tips. Its color is slightly yellowish. Pay attention to both reflection and refraction settings. The reason you can see through the material is because it has refraction enabled. So there's no problem when rendering. I just realized I forgot to make the charging slot. So, I'll create a chamfer box and set it to the right size. This charging area doesn't need to be 100% precise, since I don't want to spend too much time on it. Now, I'll convert it to an editable poly. And here, I'll pull this section forward a bit. So, by holding Alt, I'll deselect the rest. I'll give it a small extrude. Now, I'll select every other face, just these parts. Then I'll scale them a little bit on the Z-axis. Just a tiny amount. Alright, I'll use rotation to straighten it out and place it in the right spot. And that's it. Again, it's not super accurate in shape. I just made it for the purpose of this tutorial. Now, I'll bring a scene in for rendering. I'll delete these two AirPods from the viewport. Alright everyone, thanks so much for watching the video up to this point. Please let me know in the comments what tutorials you'd like to see next, and I'll make a video for you. And of course, a like and subscribe would be a huge support for me, I'd really appreciate it. Until the next video, goodbye.